All right, today, the much debated and heated topic of a beverage tax in our city is supposed to be taken up one last time. The City Council has scheduled a final vote on this afternoon on this 2-cent tax. And opponents have fought this tax, even taken to the airwaves, as retailers say they are worried that this tax is going to hurt their businesses. And the first version of the tax, a 4-cent version, was rejected by the City Council, so the vote is set for 3 o'clock this afternoon.
All right, budget cuts, tax proposals, snowstorms, pension problems. Mayor Stephanie Rawlings-Blake has had a lot on her plate since she became mayor.
And she is here this morning to chat about all of the above and all. What's your gut, Mayor? Thanks for joining us here. What's your gut about this 3 o'clock vote? Yes or no?
I think it's going to be successful. It is an example to me of what happens when there's collaboration and compromise. I certainly was hoping for the 4 cents in order for us to restore some essential services, but I also value compromise, and this is a good example of that.
Can we talk about that for a moment? Because one of the criticisms of it was it's not going to raise enough money. I think the estimation was around $5 million. Will this raise enough with it being 2 cents?
It's not going to raise enough to close the gap that I had identified after I made about $70 million in cuts already. And I was looking for roughly $50 million in new revenue. So it's not going to totally close it, but we got really close. I'm proud, and we were able to do all of this without raising property tax. We're able to keep every single patrol officer on the street, reduce the number of fire station closings, keep our rec centers and pools open for the summer, with each one having summer camp programs. So I'm pleased at the work we were able to do.
You know, whether it's the federal government, the state government, the city government, you know, we're all taxed, and everybody hates to be taxed. Are we getting to the point now in this decade that we're going to see like Under Armour trash trucks or Miss Shirley's sponsoring the food lunches in our city schools?
Sounds good.
Doesn't it? I mean, how much more can we be taxed?
You know, we have to make sure that we're being responsible. We have to have a balanced budget. But I know that you're kind of joking, but I like the public-private partnerships that you're talking about.
Absolutely.
I'm looking for opportunities for, just like with the Preakness Parade, you know, that was out of the budget. And the Jockey Club stepped in, and we were able to do that, just like 4th of July, Ports America stood in. You know, I think there are lots of opportunities for sponsorship. We'll be competing with what is it? The people that book your sponsors will be fighting for ads.
Well, it's interesting too, though, because it does raise the question: where do you draw the line? When there was the Under Armour logo on Federal Hill, a lot of people said not Federal Hill. So there'll have to be some thought into.
There has to be communication, definitely. You know, Federal Hill certainly had logos and signs up there before, but I think it was a matter of the communication. And you know, you live and you learn.
Yeah.
What about the fire and pension system, fire and police pension system? How's that going to work out?
You know, I said all along that I'm truly indebted to the sacrifice of our men and women in blue and our firefighters. And the issue for me was that they certainly deserve a dignified retirement, but it has to be one that the city can afford. And on top of the $121 million budget deficit, if we didn't reform the pension by this week, we would owe another $65 million, and that just wasn't possible. So we were able to make adjustments in the fire and police pension, trying to take into account, you know, years of service, and you know, trying to find a balanced approach. So we were able to have a solvent system for now and in the future.
We got a question from a viewer. Somebody had asked a while ago. We have a food czar now. Is there any chance that we might have an animal cruelty czar based on all the cases that we've had of dog abuse in the city?
So we are doing some specialized training. Every district has members of their team. Every police district has members of the team that have had specialized training in animal abuse. And we have a point person in my office that deals with it. And we're working with the Animal Abuse Task Force, you know, to have a sustaining task force, not just, you know, for that one incident, but to keep it ongoing. So we're able to stay on top of issues, so we can advocate for animals, advocate with communities so that people come forward. The issue with the puppy that was stoned, you know, someone from the community stepped forward and gave the police information that led to an arrest. That's what we need, for people to step forward. So, you know, those are the types of steps that we're taking.
When you look at the books as a city council president, compare that to looking at the books when you're the mayor. Is there a different way you look at things?
Yeah, as a member of the city council, as a member of that legislative body, you know, I had ideas and concepts and, you know, recommendations, but as mayor, you know, the buck stops with me. and I'm totally responsible for making sure that the budget is balanced, that the city's priorities are in line with the way we're spending money, all of those things. So it's a matter of the responsibility. I would say that's the biggest difference.
All right. Well, stay with us. We're going to have more with the mayor. We're going to talk about an exciting new thing when we come back. It is the Youth Be More. So we'll tell you all about this initiative and talk about more other city services coming up when we come back.